Gentlemen, welcome to another great guest speaker presentation in Airline Crewing Enigma. My name is Daniel Stecher. I'm Vice President IBS Software, and on behalf of Claire Tate and the entire Airline Crewing Enigma, I welcome you to our session today with our guest speaker DJ from SunExpress Airlines. And I'm very grateful that we had a conflict last month, because he wanted to speak already last month, but fortunately his team colleague Camille was able to give us already episode 1 of the challenges and opportunities in the IOCC of SunExpress Airlines. And today DJ is taking over and is covering episode 2. So I saw the slides already. You want to have questions during the presentation or at the end, so you want to have it a bit lively?
Yes, during at any point, please interrupt.
So then I will help you. Please, everybody, raise your hand if you have a question or two, and then I will call you in. And I wish us fantastic 45 minutes, 60 minutes.
Depends on the questions.
Yeah, we have to stop at 16:58 because we have Ladies Beyond flying after. And then, it's Super Tuesday again.
Very good.
Stage is yours, DJ.
Thank you. Start screen. Let me just bring you guys back so I can see if there's any hands. So, thank you, Daniel. Thank you all. As you mentioned, Daniel.
Can you swap? You have the presenter mode.
Yes, I can somehow. Let me figure out where it's going. What were you seeing? Were you seeing yourselves, or were you seeing?
No. We saw that the next slide is Camille's cover page.
Yes. Okay, then let's write this way around.
No. Camille is getting more and more famous. Very good.
No, it's now presenting on the wrong one again. This is the one part I didn't test, and you already see, presenter's curse.
I think there's then the one button which you click on this one, and then it's swapping between presenter and presentation mode. Just do it like you did it before, and then we try to find this one button.
Let's find the one screen. That's presenting mode now, but I've got no idea where it's going. We've got too many screens. Or is your cursor? Too many screens, Daniel.
No, now we see the slides on the left-hand side. So just click on it.
Diederik, you can select in PowerPoint to the top right, present in Teams.
Present in Teams. Let's do that. See if that helps.
Present. Now we see your Teams and all the chats. No screenshots from anybody, please.
Nothing private there. Nothing private is fine. Working out of I see this. Working out a few details.
Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Thank you for the tip. I don't know who gave it, but thank you for that.
Victor, Transavia, Dutch.
There we go. There we go. Dutch is helping each other, huh?
Yeah.
So, Camilla, thank you for presenting it. Did a good first job. If I now move this to here, still see my screen?
Yes.
And I can look you in the eyes, more or less. So thanks, Camilla, for the first part of that. I think a really good introduction, and keen to build on that. So if you haven't watched that, then go back and watch that, and then watch this one. Then it'll all make more sense, possibly. So who am I? Father of 2 daughters, engineer background. So analytics and data is sort of where I come from. I would say I don't have a typical ops background or IOC background. It's not sort of the typical dispatcher, grow up in IOC, but sort of from the side in. Broad ops experience, though, technic, crew, ops, and consulting, and also broad international experience. Dutchman in Turkey, but also in various other countries and various companies. So, not the expert, as I said, in some of the key parts of the IOCC. However, a very strong team here for the details. And my job is, or as I see it, is more the challenging, the pushing, and the questioning, and to drive us forwards. A warning, a disclaimer, all the opinions are my own, so if I get in any trouble with any of the SunExpress colleagues, then these are my words, not SunExpress's. I'm Dutch, so I will be a little bit to the point at times, and I enjoy trying to provoke reaction. So please latch on to that or disagree, question or challenge, as it says. And also, I'm not claiming to have reinvented the wheel. Most of the ideas are stolen, recycled, or repackaged. But I think we're doing a fairly good job here in SunExpress's IOCC. Also worth saying, just before going to this one, the title is very purposely IOCC with the I in the bracket. We at SunExpress have done the transition, as Camilla pointed out, between OCC to IOCC. That's where a lot of these slides are aimed at. However, I think all the challenges, opportunities are valid, even if you aren't going through that transition. It's a different twist or perspective on it, but still equally valid. I think the risks side to highlight that is the ongoing operations, and I think that's a more challenging part than many other operational departments will have. Is that it is here really 24/7. It is where everything comes together. So sort of stopping it in order to change the tires, as the example, the picture that Daniel also uses of the pit stop and how quickly can you do a swap. Yeah, it's continuous here, and having seen the other operational departments and worked in those, IOCC is, in my opinion, really unique there. On top of that, of course, as Camilla highlighted as well, is we've got all the regulations, audited documents, audited processes, and this is something that we've struggled with as well, or been challenged by during our process. With the, I wouldn't call it a threat of an audit, but the ongoing auditing process, or CA audit was going to happen as well during this time. That got delayed. That delayed our processes, so the risks there as well. Timing challenges. There's never a good time. Even more so, I think the year we've had here, last year summer when I took over the position as head of IOC, we had the challenging summer operations, ground ops shortages in Europe. We had the air traffic control challenges. So summer didn't work. We then rolled into winter with the audits in pending audits. So we decided not to trigger the change before that. We then rolled into the earthquake in Turkey, unfortunately. Then audits were again postponed, and at some point we decided to pull the trigger before this summer. So yeah, it really is clear proof that there is no perfect time. Opportunity, though, I think with versus these risks is really what we've done here is almost go back to basics and really from the ground up. Yes, we've kept running, the operations kept going, the departments kept working, but we have gone all the way back down to sort of job description level, to tidy that right up, to task lists, reviewing all our documents and processes almost from zero. And I think that's really been a good opportunity. I would recommend it anyway to anybody. That in ops, I believe that we don't stop often enough. Often because it is so go, we don't have that opportunity. We don't make that time to review what's going on. That should be done more often, and I think that's what we're lucky now with this whole transition that we've been put in this place to really do that. I think while Daniel has the pit stop comes past, I think fairly often to me it's felt more like this, trying to change the tires while we keep rolling, and that's what we've done here. So yeah, highlighted extensively as well last time by Camilla, and I think Daniel summarized it really well. As it's all about the human factor. I could not agree more. We've done quite a lot of visits. We've interacted with a lot of OCCs and IOCCs during this whole project and after it as well. And often during those, well, initially when I was asked, okay, what's the biggest challenge you're facing? We had a long list of things. But in the end, I really do think it's the last point here. It's the culture, and that's all the human factor, in my opinion. We've noticed it's key. We've put a lot of time and effort into that to try and really bring people along on the journey. It's taken time and attention and effort. And none of this is sort of say, look, what a good job we've done. I think we could have done much better at times as well. But I think it really is a key component of it. We really need the supporting teams, the understanding of the staff, the input from the staff as well. I think I'm taking one of the comments from the other slides, but it is, we keep saying it here as well, it's not my vision, it's not my idea. I am the head of ICC, but we're trying to deliver it here with the 50 people in my org, in my structure, plus then the other 50 plus people on the other side of the ICC departments. Yeah.
I have a question here regarding people and so on and the human factor. We had this panel discussion last year where we came with the conclusion we need a more standardized approach in training. So maybe you can share how SunExpress is somehow empowering the people.
Yeah.
Also maybe to check a post-mortem if there were a critical day. So how you make sure that people go the learning curve and that it's also not depending who is on shift from the quality of decision making.
Yeah, very good. The 2 points, thank you. Training, well, yeah, the development and learning of the staff, that's something we've really tried to do proactively. This winter we've done, in my opinion, a fairly ambitious training program. There've been 7 soft skills trainings provided by HR, so that's conflict resolution, time management, all these sort of those sort of topics. At times it feels, you don't need to tell an ops planner dealing with a last-minute departure, last-minute delay at a station how to do time management. But I think there's always something to pick up out of those. So we've said, okay, look, even you will get time management skills. You can always improve, not as critique, but sort of let's build up. We've done interdepartmental training. So within the ICC, MCC have explained to all the others, this is our role, this is our functionality, this is what we want, this is what we don't, this is what we're here for, what we aren't here for. So we've done that between departments. And we've also taken trainings, and that's still to be completed in the coming winter again, from other departments outside the ICC. So we've taken corporate communications training for social media awareness. What does executive management need to know because of the potential impact to or potential social media coverage? EU legislation, so around 3-hour delays, the black and white side of that. Customer journey, so what is SunExpress going to try, or what is our vision for the passenger journey of the future? Because we have such a big impact on that experience that we need to know, okay, where are we going as well? So how do we play our role in that? So I think we've done a good extensive training program there. It's ongoing. We will do more of that. And I think because of the nature of the IFC that we created and the structure that Camilla showed is having all these departments so closely together, and also structure within my team of pre, live, and post operations, is that there's the natural feedback cycle as well. And that's, I think, I'm lucky that I've got an operational manager below me, so he deals with the day-to-day or the real nitty-gritty details, leaving me, for example, to deal with more of the learnings and, okay, more deep dive and ask some of these annoying questions to the guys and to the teams, and what can we learn, what can we do better, and sort of trying to challenge there, as I said before, that has a key role there. So it's an ongoing process. It's a lot of sharing. I think I spent a lot more of my time doing that than I'd imagined initially. But yeah, we've done those trainings, we've done workshops with management level or team leader levels. We've had dinners where sort of taking people out of the ops really helps and has them, you have different discussions. One-to-ones with all the staff, which is really beneficial and takes a long time, but I think it's shown its results as well. So yeah, I don't think there's one key answer to your question, Daniel, but I think it's a mix of tools and approaches that we're taking that I think, in my opinion, is in the right direction. And yes, we can do more, we can do better, but it's trying to find that balance between tasks, roles, responsibilities, and everything else. So yeah.
Talking about tasks and responsibilities, and knowing that you also operate with ACMI operators, how you cover this people topic with your partners?
Again, a lot of communication. We set up, so we've got between the teams immediate communication set up. We've got our calls at sort of IFC level. This overall communication as well, so company wide, and also, which I think was good, but Urat might disagree. We visited them over at their offices and really try to explain, okay, this is our view of the summer, these are our challenges, this is how we want to approach it. Does that match yours? What feedback can you give us? What will work, what won't work? So yeah, I think it really is about communicating.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree. It was a pleasure having you in our office.
Very good. Phew. So yeah. I think we put a lot of time and effort into that, and not just with Avion, but also our ground service providers as well. We've put up, we did visits to many of the critical stations. Part of the company might say, yeah, but your IOCC, your day of ops, you deal with everything there. But I think it's key to have these relationships and to try and get onto the same page. And yeah, we've also done a briefing pack for all these all the ground service providers. Shared that with our expectations. This is how we intend to operate this summer, just to try and ensure that we are as much on one page as possible. And then it's not perfect. It will take more time and more effort, but yeah, we're trying to standardize that. And then lastly, now mentioning standardization, that's the other one you mentioned as well. There we have more work to do. There's still I mean, yes, it's humans. We're all different. We will have different solutions depending on the different person there. But that's where we're trying to not limit. We're trying to standardize how we work and the outcomes further as well. Of course, each delay or each situation is unique in a way, but it shouldn't be dependent on which duty managers on shift what the outcome is, and that's what we're going to try and work on this winter. We worked on initially previous year, but there's a lot more to do there. So there we want to work on a quick reference handbook to really try and yeah, close the scope of outcomes further. So yeah, work in progress. Technology and tools. This is us. This is the industry a little bit, I think, as well. While there are big steps being made, in my opinion, in the tools, in technology, I think a lot of us are struggling from legacy systems. And even the newer systems out there are probably not taking full advantage of the technology that's out there. I think part of that is the costs. And yeah, I mentioned it later as well, business cases. But yeah, where was I going? Sorry. I think the cost is a prohibitive factor in replacing legacy systems. We are all heavily cost focused, in my opinion, in the industry. Financial structures or financial departments are used to certain expenditures from operational departments. And then coming up with the price tags of these new systems, I think is very hard. And I've seen it here. I've seen it at other airlines as well. Trying to convince, well, the other relevant departments, the other approving departments of a new business case, of a new system is very difficult. I think partially because of what the new tools can do. So yeah, in both airlines, we've done the process that I've seen is trying to explain the benefits of an optimizer is incredibly difficult. They want to see, okay, but how will it work? What will the savings be? When you then present the results that the supplier or one of the potential suppliers show, then you get the question back, but they're trying to sell it to us. Of course, they will show us savings of several millions. You then go back and try to do it manually, but that's no way you can do the manual work of an optimizer, because otherwise you would be doing that anyway. So then you end up with lower savings. So then you end up in this paralysis by analysis loop, which I think is stifling us. I also think that while we are all dealing with the same situations or the same delays, cancellations, weather, passenger CTOTs, there is no one solution that fits all. So we'll all need different versions of this software. It's not a plug and play, in my opinion. So that adds complexity, that adds cost as well. However, I do think that there's massive opportunities here. I think when you look at the AI, big data, machine learning, and all those sort of topics, I think we're scratching the surfaces of what we can do there. Being the engineer or the engineering background, the engineering part of the brain, I'll cross it, I think, from one of the other slides. I think it's the amount of non-value adding work that I think is done in IOCCs, but in airlines in general, is huge. And I think that's something that we really need to look at. That's something we're trying to look at in here as well. And that's where I really see technology helping us and trying to move forwards. It's not, so it's the 80-20 rule. Let's get rid of 80% of that easy stuff. Let's keep the people there for the 20%.
You say no one size fits all. On the other hand, we just made the experience now with Project Genesis that there is a general consensus. What has been described in this manual can work for almost all airlines, of course, exception from the rule and so on.
Yeah.
Is this not then a contradiction? Is it because I had a bit the sense that the major takeaway from this Project Genesis manual was the message to the vendor in general, customizations are not required if you can cover what has been described there. And of course, now we can have manuals for operations control and maintenance control and you name it.
Yeah.
So do you really believe airlines always need specifics here and there because they are so unique compared to another airline, maybe from the same city?
Yes. The amount or proportion will differ, but I do think there's there will be differences, and that's where I think there's a commercial that always makes me laugh. I can't remember what it is. Sorry, did someone say something? Okay. Claire agrees with me. That's good. I can't remember what the product is, but basically say we have there's 3 billion people in the world or 7 billion people in the world, and we have 6 solutions for you. Yeah, you can't have 7 solutions for us and say everybody's unique to 7 billion people. So I think it's a little bit like that. I think a certain level of customization will be needed. It's not that we can go to one vendor and say, yeah, it ticks all our boxes and here we go, sort of thing. So yes, I think maybe a Dutch comment or one of the ones I put in a disclaimer for. I think we all like to think we're more different from each other than we are as airlines. I think almost every airline I've seen or been at is they make the claim we're the most complex airline in the world, or our operations is the most complex. So in that way, we're all common or all the same, huh? But I think it's the 5%, the 10%. That's where the difference is, in the end, we're dealing with the same issues, and that's why I like operations. That's why I've enjoyed so much our visits to other IOCs and those sort of things. We're not directly competing with each other, in my opinion. Maybe we're all running the same race and we're all trying to achieve the same goals. And yes, my OTP should be better than yours because then that's a plus for us. But in the end, we're all dealing with the same challenges, and that's So a tool that deals with the same challenges, yes. But the way we interpret those challenges and the outcomes of how we deal with those challenges, I think those will be different.
And you visited a lot of airlines during your transformation process. Is there 1, 2, 3 airlines which are role models for you? Is there something where you like to pick and choose what you have seen there, you want to implement also in Antalya? Or is it because you are so unique, you cannot pick and choose something from somewhere in the world?
No, I mean, for me, yes, just to correct a little bit, Daniel, we've done these visits during the transformation, but it's also something we want to keep doing. We have, as I said, we've got a really good team here, but I think it's always good to see other airlines, other opinions, other ways of approaching things. Even if we go visit airline Y and we see something and we think, oh my God, let's not do that. That's still a learning from us. That we will still take. And let's see if we can do the opposite. So we will continue to do those. And as well now, please, if you're interested or want to know or want to visit or we can visit you, then let's engage. But I think the learning we've picked up something everywhere. I think. Scale is impressive. We were fortunate enough to visit Southwest, and that's just from what I've seen, and I've not seen any other ICCs in the US, but that is on another level. just their scale. Okay, they're 10, 12 times bigger than we are, but the attention to detail there was really impressive as well, and that went to sort of every single level, and that wasn't even in their operations, and we've seen their challenges over the last year in their system side and things like that. But just they were looking to expand to another floor, and just the details they were looking at. We're looking at redesigning our office, but it's things that we would never consider. It's plumbing for the toilets. It's those sort of things that they are thinking of, that you just think, okay, wow, we're looking at a seating map sort of thing, and that's next level. But yeah, I really do consider myself fortunate. We've visited so many airlines and seen so many things, and then being able to take parts of all of those and try to incorporate it into what we're doing. But I also think it's been really refreshing, and that links up with what we were saying a little bit about how we're all dealing with the same things. Here at SunExpress, in my opinion, we're dealing and trying to solve the same issues that most other people are dealing with. Versus Southwest, they've got 40 people working on a topic. Here it's 2, but it's still working on the same topics. It's still with the same ideology, I think, in mind. So we're working on pre-ops desk. That's an important function for us. There they've got a team, and I think it's those sort of things that it's reassuring to know we're on the same journey, maybe different scales, but yeah, they've been good. Everybody's got their own challenges, but I think we'll continue to do those for sure. The value has been significant, I think. Yeah, financial then, the challenges there. I think short-term, long-term comes back later as well. I think that's something where we're really hampered with in ops. Returns need to be fairly much immediate in order to get financial backing. That's hard to do, in my opinion as well. Sort of, we're all transitional. We're all trying to do something else and get to a new place, get to a better place, and you need resources for that. Short term, you don't get them, so then you're trying to do it with the systems and tools you've got, the resources you've got. So that's a challenge. Yeah, increase versus previous rates. I think that's something I mentioned as well. Is we're trying to buy the newer car, the newer iPhone, the newer solution. But in the meantime, we're trying to do that on the same cost base. Yeah, that's hard to do. Trying to prove, as it says here, so the business case challenges and analysis through paralysis through analysis. That's just something that I think there's a certain fear and a certain pressure on operational departments, and maybe a little bit of a provocative statement as well. Is the business cases I've seen is often for commercial side, and those systems it's easier. They'll disagree, I'm sure, but it's look, buy us product X and we will bring you $1 million in revenue. How? Because of increased sales or because of efficiencies. On ops side, all we can ever do is say, we will try reduce our costs through getting the system. It's a lot harder, and the savings are a lot harder to prove, in my experience. Harder to prove in a business case, the calculations that lead to those savings. So I think that's one where yeah, maybe we're unfortunate, maybe we don't have the skills to convince the financial teams of these savings. And also I think it's often at times rightfully maybe, but it's we need an independent support from or independent from the supplier at times. And that's where I said, for example, the optimizers, and trying to prove the savings of an optimizer without taking the reference data from a supplier is nearly impossible to do. So that's where I think we get stuck a little bit, and those discussions have been challenging at times. I think we're in a right place now, but I think that's one where I don't have an answer, but that's something we need to look at as maybe as an industry. Maybe it's just us, but being able to try and validate those savings and sell them in a way internally that makes these products easier to obtain for us. Innovation then, another one where I put is aviation ready for it. I think we're all trying to be the most innovative airline, or we're trying to jump and lead the pack and do those sort of things. But on the other hand, if you see how long it takes to get approval for some of these things, how long it takes to get past unions, how long it takes to get past the workers' council, or to convince senior management, or yeah, same with agile. We all want to be agile, but in the meantime, we want to have a proper, robust decision-making procurement process in place. And it's these things where I think we're now bumping against, and it's not necessarily just here or us, but I think that's something you see as well, where we're trying to be something or trying to lead or jump into a certain direction, but it's yeah, are we ready for it, or are the airlines our processes? I think is probably the right place, the right word. Are we ready for that yet? We're pushing, we're trying. I really think it's key to improving and moving forwards. We're trying to do that through strategic partnerships. We can't do everything in-house. We don't have the resources. That's not our DNA, our structure. We don't have the money to buy these innovative solutions off the shelf. That's just not us, and that's not meant negatively or anything, but that's not our DNA. So for us, it really is trying to find those strategic partnerships, trying to jump in, or trying to find these early or companies early on in their growth path, and trying to partner with them to develop, to offer our expertise, our knowledge, and sort of join their journey together. I put here innovation. Is it maybe a little bit fashionable? Is it maybe the next Six Sigma, that everybody had to be a black belt all of a sudden? Is it now in 2 years we'll have the next buzzword? I think agile's passed us by a little bit in ops, but is innovation that, or is it more underlying than that?
I have a question here.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a bit frustration, and I have an industry friend,
yeah,
who told me that his wife is telling his oldest daughter not everything is a race. Mm-hmm. So is maybe this race for innovation in aviation not a winnable race?
No, I don't think it's not winnable. We'll try though, and we'll keep trying. That's my nature. It sounds like a good friend, Daniel, by the way. But I think it's what we're trying, or what I'm trying to do with the innovation is more the mindset, and trying to do that in here in the IOC. We've got a few, or quite a few projects now with sort of these startups and or even established people or companies, and trying to change what they have. We will for sure go down a route that doesn't lead to success. We will fail on one of those. I think that's where the rest of the business still needs to get used to that idea. But yes, we are signing a contract. Yes, we will try this. Yes, we will pay them money. But will it work for us? We'll see. So I think that's part of it. But I think it's also part with all the tools that are coming our way as well, with AI, with predictive technologies, that we're having discussions in here, or feedback from the guys on shift. And I think they need to get used to the fact that there's uncertainty in this. Yes, in the tools, but also in the solutions that some of these give. It's not going to be a black and white answer anymore. AI will say, this might happen, or this area, watch out. It doesn't mean that something will happen there, but things are less black and white maybe than they currently are with our systems. Yes, there's a delay, or there's not a delay. I think innovation for me is more the mindset, and that's where we're trying to get in here as well, or trying to change is things don't need to be as they are, and that's something I think we're great in aviation as well, and a very black and white statement possibly is, but it's always been that way. We've always done it that way. Yeah, we can't have that. And I think that's what innovation is going to be key for us in aviation and ops, is that actually this process feels inefficient. Can we change it? That's what we want to get to, and that's why I think that's, for me, what innovation is. It might not be the shiniest tools and AI and virtual goggles and VR and all those sort of things, but I think it's the mindset that we want to create a little bit more of, and that's what it is for me. So is it winnable? No, but it is a race, I think, and it's something that we'll continue to do. But yeah, but there again, I think also happy to discuss and engage and share on what we're doing on those things. I think that's key as well. Yes, there's a competitive advantage to be had, but I think it's running that race and being able to compare yourselves to others that sort of helps us all forwards and also helps us is actually, we think, yeah, there's all the chance or the risk of sort of going down a rabbit hole. It'd be really nice to find out from somebody else that actually we've been down that rabbit hole. It's not don't sort of thing. So yeah, I think there's even there, I think that there's opportunities to be had from sharing and from engaging. So yeah, long term versus short term. Here, I think ops we can learn a lot from as well. Again, maybe a little bit of a, what's the word? Might rub people the wrong way, but in my opinion, in ops, we're super good at firefighting. But because of that, we're very good at then fighting today's fire and then coming back and fighting it again tomorrow. There's not enough time where we sort of get our raise our heads above the cornfield to see, okay, what's actually coming our way, what's happening. I also think maybe by the nature of operations, that's the type of people it attracts. They are super good at firefighting. It's a skill. But yeah, asking at times, okay, but what will we do in 5 years' time? How will that look? Blank stares back, and we don't know, but we know what we're doing tomorrow, sort of thing. And I think that's something where in operations, in IOCCs, I think you see a change, but I do think that's where we need to become better. I also think that we need to protect future ops a lot more. I would rather protect tomorrow than today. And the same, we've got a project now, and there they said, I've said, okay, I don't want to go live next summer because there's risks. It's risky. I don't want to touch it next summer. I said, okay, understood, but we need resources now to run with this project. I said, that's fine. We'll find the resources now, but I don't want to risk next summer. And I think that's something that we need to do more of as well. And I think it's changing in ops, but I think that's something we need more of. I think we've done that fairly well with our structure, with the pre-ops, the live ops, and the post-ops structure, which allows us to look much further out. It's also taken a lot of our plate to the management plate, where we now have somebody who I see here is responsible for day of ops +2. This person's looking at day of ops 2, 3, 4 months out. So we've got no remit there. We've got nothing to do actually on paper in that area. But I think just the ability to see NATO air defender in Germany, being able to see strikes coming up, being able to try and smoothen the road as much as possible is key. I also think it'll help with all these innovative products, with the innovation mindset, where it's sort of about a longer, it's a Dutch expression, longer adem, keeping your breath for longer. I think that's what you need, and that's what we'll need more of, and that's why I think we need to sort of, yes, brilliant at firefighting on the day, but I think we also need to look further out and deal with it there. So yeah, part there, structure was important as well. Where are we on time? I think we're okay still. Yeah. Learnings then from our side, not put on here, but it's yes, I did actually. I think a lot of energy is required. It really is. There's no one battle, but I think it's there's many challenges on our way, not just in the transition from OCC to IOCC, but I think IOCC and looking forwards as well. So yeah, we're trying to implement a huge change, in my opinion, really change how we work, not just here, not just me, but sort of within the ops. I think that's where the people in the communication is key. Trying to bring them along. It's not just people in the department, it's the other departments. It's changing how finance see us, how commercial see us, with scheduling, how much resistance we can put up versus what we've previously done. Do we accept their commercial programs, or do we really start to push back and say, no, actually we should have commercial schedules that are built from ops perspective? I think those sort of things are coming, and I think that's where we need the energy and the long breath for. People and communication is key, even more key than I realized before taking the role. Yeah, I don't think you can, or you almost can't put enough time and effort into bring people along on the journey, I think, and internal, external. Related to that, I think, is the transparency. We've increased that, I think. We want to do a lot more on that. That's in where we're going, our roadmap, our direction, but also I just think in simple things as in KPIs, in reporting, and not being afraid of having to defend why our OTP is poor today. Why was it so much better on last week? And having those discussions, I think that's the awareness that we need in airlines to sort of help us drive forwards and give importance to operations. Business cases, that's really still an open point for myself, for ops, is how we sell that internally. How do we make cost savings or potential cost savings as sexy as increased revenue? How do we convince departments internally that these cost savings and cost targets are achievable, are realistic? That's something we can do a lot more on, or need to do on. If anybody's got a proven method for getting business cases approved, please let me know. That's something we want. And as I think I've highlighted throughout, it's really for us, yes, we've changed OCC to IOCC, but it really is an ongoing process. I don't think we can stand still. It's not a continuous. I did put here, it's not a continuous process in my opinion. I really do think it's stepwise, and even if it's small steps every day. Yeah, you need breaks. There are operational things that come up. For us, the peak summer is almost insane. So we don't do as much during the summer as we do in the winter. But yeah, it is sort of every day better is sort of the goal we've got here, and the approach we're taking. So. Yeah, I hope that was it. That's challenges and opportunities in the IOCC from my perspective, with the introduction and groundwork by Camilla last time. Yeah, happy to take questions or field discuss where people have different opinions or other insights. Yeah.
Thank you very much, DJ. I liked it very much. Floor is open. Please shoot your questions.
Or not.
Of course, everybody's speechless. That's what you have achieved already.
So I think, yeah, just besides, if nobody has questions, comments, or anything now, then please at any time, more than
Claire raised her hand. Wonderful. Claire.
Super.
Yes, so I have one comment. I put it in the chat. I don't know if everyone saw, but when Daniel was saying that the outcome of Project Genesis is that customization is not needed, and I think I disagree with that. I'm not Dutch, but I'm very direct in my feedback. So also apologies for people who are less comfortable with that. So I think there are concepts. The concepts are the same across airlines. There are many different ways to do things. And I think where you really see customizations needed is in the work rules that apply to the crew members and the people working in an IOCC, because all of those work rules are going to be very specific to the labor contracts, or even if it's not a union agreement, it's still an agreement between the company and the employees. And that is often very specific to cultures and history and things like that. So I think that's where many of the customizations come in, and also the way people are used to working. And I think what you highlighted is that culture change is the biggest challenge, and how people are used to working. It's very hard when you've constructed these mental models of how the work flows for the people who have a lot of experience. It's very difficult to rewire that. So I think even when it's not a union requirement, that requires, sort of legal changes that the employees agree to in order to modify, it's still quite hard to rewire how people have done their jobs for many years. It's possible, but it makes things difficult, and the airline has to weigh the trade-offs of that. And the other comment that I wanted to make or question is, I think the disruption at Southwest at the end of last year that I think they've publicly said has cost over $800 million. I mean, that is certainly a business case for any airline to invest in operations. Now, how you directly tie an investment to an operational outcome, that's much more complicated. That whoever solves that will be a favorite of ops employees and vendors, I think. But that's certainly something that I've been looking at, and I think everyone who's worked in ops has tried to solve. So I'd be interested in more conversation about that.
Yeah, me too. So if anybody knows such an individual, please send us send them this way, or crew planning Enigma's way. And yes, I completely agree. I think standardization in crew is even bigger, but I even just think in operations as well is yes, we're still different, and it might be the priorities or hub and spoke versus point to point and all these sort of things. I think, yeah, you don't need the system that can do everything, but it's okay. What does it need to do for me? It will be different than what it needs to do for you. So, yeah, if that's modules or components or whatever, but I think there you can probably tick 90%, 95% of the boxes with your modules. But I think even in there will still be interpretations. I think as long as you've got FAA versus CA versus everybody else, there's differences there as well, and interpretations of these rules and how you interpret it, what is flight monitoring, how do you prove that you're doing proper flight monitoring, and that will differ between us to EASA to whoever else, and that's what I think these systems need to account for.
Any other question from the audience, please? I think you nailed it. You provided very insightful information, and I'm also glad that we have 2 episodes here. And I'm totally agreeing with you. I think these reference visits is a big learning for everyone, seeing how other airlines are working, and then also sharing best practice. So thank you for this, DJ. Much appreciated. And the good news is we can already look ahead. We have then next month the winner of the best presentation at the recent Agiforce Crew conference in Santiago de Chile. And yeah, hopefully you all can make it. And if you're willing to also give a talk later this year, please get in touch with us, and we would be very grateful to get to know your best practice and how are you coping with the challenges in our industry. Was a big pleasure having you with us, and very important, please stay healthy and safe and have a nice rest of the day. Thank you, DJ, and all. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.